Romo, and mum wasn't being very nice, and I kind of kicked her out. Maybe she didn't like the way she looked. But I nearly lost her. Then I ended up prop feeding her and bringing her on. She was just so unusual, and I've named her Julienne, and she was just so unusual. And I was like, please make it, please make it, please make it. And she did. And even now she's matured. She's actually in the breeding cage, and she's got these perfect spirals either side of her head, and then you've got the one on the back as well. So yeah,
Amazing.
just bizarre looking bird. And I love the bizarre, I love the rare, I love the unusual. So as soon as I saw her, I was like, you got to stay. Most
Yeah.
show people would be, I'm a show person's nightmare because, I just go for the weird and wonderful. I've got
But the thing is the new show is about that.
yeah.
Can you imagine if you can do it, our first show, you could have some mutations that nobody's ever seen.
Yeah. And I would love that. I would
what
love it.
What a statement.
Well, yeah, I mean, people come along to show, and even with the standard Hagar, some people have never seen them before in the flesh,
Well,
and when
we did the Avery, didn't we, at the Parrot Society show, and it was, I mean, we not only did we win, but I think we won the hearts of a lot of people, and they're like, what are they?
Yeah.
And you had to stand there and explain what they were.
Yeah,
and,
you opened up conversation,
it
and
really
that's
did.
the whole point, is bringing the community. It's educating the community, it's getting people interested. That's what I do it for. I do it to say, look at these wonderful birds, have you ever seen it? People start talking and they get interested. And I've actually brought people into the hobby because they've come around with a friend who's getting a bird, and they've looked at the Hagaromos and they've gone, that's the bird I want.
We always used to have a saying that when we were in this sort of exhibition side, the next pet breeder will be could be the next exhibition breeder. And I think now I've moved it down a level, because I've said the Avery breeder could be the next hobby breeder. It's gone from those colony nest boxes to do like you do with the cages, controlled breeding and that. So all of a sudden, again, we're just expanding that hobby, which I'm really excited about. I really
looking at the weird and wonderful, and This is a German fallow, so this is not a rainbow, but this is still opaline. But this particular bird, I really like the shape. And gave me a nice little drop in on the bottom of the photo cage there. They always do. The moment I put them in the photo box, it's dropped, so I have to have a tissue ready, but unfortunately we didn't get cleared up. But yeah, this is a German fallow. And what's interesting about this bird is that the parent, one of the parent birds to this one, is an imported bird, and it's got an imported ring on. And it's also split for clear wing. So not only is it opaline, it's split for clear wing. So I kind of have a feeling that where this bird has come from another German fallow rainbow project somewhere in another country.
Or did the person selling them even know that was happening?
No.
That's the thing.
And the weird thing was that I was looking for German fallows everywhere, and I went on to one of these online sites and rehoming pages, and I found someone very local to me, so local in fact that it took me about 15 minutes to walk there. And I've never heard of this person before. I've never seen this person before. I've never seen this person's ads before. But in the corner of one of the pictures that he'd posted saying budgies for sale, I saw German fallows. So as soon as I was straight on there, like, where are you? Can I come round? And I went out, and there was just racks and racks and racks of cages and big long flights that you'd see in sort of pet shops and things. It was absolutely massive, and it was in an outbuilding. And I said, and he was kind of talking to me, and he didn't really understand. He didn't know that I knew what I was looking at. So he wanted to show me all the pretty babies and all the, the blues and the greens. And I went, no, I want these ones. And he went, oh yeah, the German fallows. And I said, yeah, they're coming home with me today. So he went and showed me, and he showed me 4 birds. 2 were German fallows, but 2 were lacewings. I did buy all 4 birds because at the time I was breeding lacewings as well. But I did say to the guy, they are 2 lacewings, and he said, okay, no worries. So we kind of come to an agreement on price. But they came home with me, and yeah, so I ended up with the German Fallow. But he said to me that he's never bred them. So yeah, I think they're getting on a bit now. But because they're foreign rings, I can't make head nor sense of the markings on the ring.
But and something I've just touched on, or just thought of, was there might be somebody out there, and whether I answer this or you do, we'll see. But why some people might be thinking, why is that not a bird of colour? Why are we calling it a hobby bird, or we're not quite sure what we're calling them yet, are we? We're sort of still in debate about budgie keepers and whatever. But to me, even that bird is too big to be a bird of colour.
Yes.
Isn't it? And this is why I think sometimes the bird of colour classes in some shows are not what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because the bird of colour is a specialist.
It's supposed to be tiny.
Tiny. Yeah, tiny. And you'll find a lot of them have got this long tail, which in the show birds is a fault. But actually, if you look at the wild birds, they have got a long tail. They're a very maneuverable bird because they're prey for an awful lot of hawks and things out in Australia.
And the tails, that they are they're an easy defense mechanism for the birds because tails come out so easily. So if a predator grabs the tail, the bird can get away.
But
it just drops.
Yeah, but that's the one thing that I think we still got to sort of get out there is 3 different types of show birds. There is the miniatures or the birds of colour. There's the hobby breeders, and then there's the exhibition birds. But that's the sort of, if I was to say to if somebody was to ask me, what should I be breeding to show in the hobby classes, that's it. That's the shape, the feather type, keep it tight. That the easily clear body at the start looked very different. It had lots of feather. It was a very long bird.
I had no idea how to breed exhibitions, and they were never easy for me. So it was something that I had to give up. I had to be able to expand with these smaller birds, the pet birds, and I had to move on the exhibition.
I mean, I used to say, I suppose probably no more than 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said, if I can't breed exhibitions, I'm not breeding anything. But I tell you what, I'm not now. If I ever give up the exhibitions, I'm straight onto these little ones. I think
they're so fun, and they're easy to breed, and you haven't got to worry about a lot of the problems that the exhibition birds do have. With the feather cysts and long flight, long tail, and things like that. You can just have fun with it.
Although, like we said earlier before we started the recording, we both got egg eaters. So we do have the same problems occasionally.
Oh yeah, you definitely do. Same problems with infertility as well. If you get a cock bird, it's just not, the target. But yeah, this is another German fallow. This is just in a white series or blue series birds, rather than the yellow.
Is it actually grey?
I think it's a violet grey.
Right.
Probably not the best of example I could have sent, but it was one of those that we had to do. To get the pictures in there. But yeah, I mean, they molt out beautiful. Again, they're the same, get to adult molt and their colors really come out, and their eyes are beautiful, and it's almost as if they get older, their eyes get brighter as well.
I've noticed that in some of the pictures that Kevin and that put up of the older, his breeding stock, that the eye, whether it's just a photograph, but the eye stands out straight away.
And it could be because the colors are brighter on the bird, and it's contrasting against the eyes. But these are fun. They're little baby black wings. So you can see in the down how dark the babies
I was just going to say that's definitely an indication, because obviously opaline is white, cinnamon is a sort of pale grey, I think, or normally. And yeah, that's really dark, isn't it?
It's very, very dark. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
you
normals are
kind
just
of,
grey.
you know, when you've got a baby fluff up this dark, you know it's going to be a visual. So if
Yeah,
you've got a visual to a split pairing or a split to a split pairing, if you get a baby that looks like that with a such dark down, you know,
yeah.
you've got a visual there.
Yes, I mean it's like in my nests, you know, if I put two normals together, which is 99% of my pairs, I'll soon tell if I've got an opaline or cinnamon.
Yeah,
You
you can,
know,
it sticks out like a sore thumb.
yeah, yeah, okay, you can see the eye on a cinnamon usually before it opens. But yeah, they do stand out. There we go,
Yes.
more black wings.
Yeah, so that was actually the clutch that you saw before. This was two of those babies, both cockbirds, one violet, one, I believe it's a cobalt.
Yeah.
But it was I only got one violet. Now the hen was just fantastic. I mean, the hen I'd got, she's a split, and I got her from Ricky Anderson, and she was paired to my original cockbird that I got a couple of years ago. And she lays every clutch, she lays 9 eggs.
Wow.
And she's just fantastic. So, you know, when you just get that pair that work.
Yeah.
And the cockbird's fantastic, and he feeds his babies, no question. There's no bickering or fighting when they're fledging. And the hen's fantastic. She feeds the babies, and everything is textbook. You know, I am so blessed to have a blackwing pair that is as reliable as they are. And he will go with any hen, and he will be exactly the same. Because I've got a few split blackwing hens now that he's been paired up to, and he's exactly the same.
Yeah, it's almost iridescent between the wings.
Oh,
then,
it's just stunning.
Yeah.
They are just beautiful. Yeah. And I kept the violet one back for myself. And when I put this picture out, because I was actually on cleaning duty in the bird room, and I thought, oh, you know, doing my nest, and I'll pop them in this little. And they sat it, and I was like, my God, they are absolutely phenomenal. And I put this online, and it just went crazy. I had people, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people liking the picture, commenting. It was just amazing. I had so many people as well messaging, because the violet black wings are really sought after.
Yeah.
Because obviously being the dark factor.
That's right. Yeah.
So, Ricky was like, you got me. I want one of those. I was like, don't worry, I got you. It's fine. It's fine. The next one will be yours. So I had quite a few people messaging me asking for the violets. They're just stunning. And I just can't wait until he molts out and I can get, because obviously I get the violet and I'll molt him once he molts out. That colour's just going to be amazing.
Oh, we've seen that one, haven't we?
We have, it's a duplicate.
Oh,
and that one.
and that one.
That one. There we go. Yeah, so this is one of my most recent. And, you know, I shared this picture because when I first started budgie keeping, I said to myself, I want a violet pied. I want a violet dominant pied. And I couldn't get one. Just could not get one. For love nor money, could not find one. And I bred one. She was my first.
Yeah.
And not only
opaline as well, isn't that opaline as well?
Yeah. And when she came out, I was like, oh my God, not only have I got a violet pied, but she's a Hagar, and she's fantastic. She's a fantastic Hagar. She's got beautiful flowers, she's got a nice crest, you know. I was just like, wow, yeah, she's staying with me. She's staying. So
yeah,
that's why I couldn't. And believe it or not, she's actually a sibling to the bird that we was discussing about being a mix of the dominant and recessive pied that we skipped about three pictures back. That's
that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So that's the sister.
See, does make you wonder whether that is a family line that's always going to be strong for flowers.
Yeah. Well, they've had a few that wasn't great.
Yeah.
But the majority of them have been pretty good. So I'm thinking that she's probably a double factor yellow face.
Right. Okay.
So she will produce yellow face offspring.
Yeah, and for those that don't realise, double factor yellow faces show as a white face bird. So, but what you'll find is if you pair that to a normal cock bird, you'll get all single factor yellow faces.
Yeah, so it'll be an interesting one. it will be an interesting one.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon you'll pair her to?
She won't be paired to another pied because you'll just lose.
Yeah, you lose the markings, won't you?
It's a difficult one, you know. Probably a normal.
Yeah,
probably a
normal something, because you don't do normals. Come on, Sam.
No, I've got all sorts: spangled, dominant pieds, and opaline, and normal. To be honest,
yeah, you could put her to a spangle, Hagar or something. Have you got any spangle haggies?
I have got no.
Oh.
No, so
that's the next project.
Yeah, oh god, not another one. No, I haven't got any spangles. But it may happen. I've paired up a few. I think I've a few new pairs. I've got some more Hagaromos in this year. So again,
it's interesting though. You know, all of a sudden, you know, we're talking about what you're going to pair it to, and you've already said not another pied because we'll lose the markings. And I think there's so many pictures put up on Facebook where you can see that an aviary is dominated by pieds and spangles, and almost all of the birds are either spangled pieds, double factor dominant pieds, whatever, and it just
spangles,
and it just shows you, and they love them all to bits, you know. But you know, us knowing our mutations, it's, you know, you just look,
you can guess your outcome.
Yeah, that's right. I think, you know, careful pairing is what it's about, because I mean, you know, I mean, if you showed that at our little show, you know, it's going to be a talking point. Going to be a talking point, you know. Whether it's just somebody who likes a pretty budgie, or whether it's breeders, you know, I still
someone
think
that likes the violet, or someone who, you know, likes the little ones, or Hagaromos in general. So I couldn't quite make out. This was a new bird that was brought in, and I couldn't quite make out what his mutation was. I was going with dilute, but he's got quite an intense body color for dilute.
Well, the first thing you've got to look at is, how on earth has it got clear wings?
Yeah, absolutely.
What makes it the clear wings? So, to me, I would go down the line of double factor spangle with suffusion. But I don't know.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
But you're right, it could be a dilute. So, but I mean, is it a bird you're looking to use soon?
Yes. He's actually been quite unlucky. He's been paired with a few hens, but the hens have just either laid infertile. We've had some problems along the lines, and he's not very accepting of a new hen. So if I take a hen out and put a new hen in, he does not like that one bit. So he has to come out, and he has to have a rest as well. And then I had
a cock bird like that once, a good cock bird, and in the end, I only ever paired him to something that he paired with in the flight.
I think this might be the choice that
I've got birds off of that. But looking at him though, to say it's suffusion, it's almost too much for suffusion, isn't it? Because it's even in the rump.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be really interesting. But again, you see, if it is dilute, you're not going to know for a long while, and you're going to have to keep records and keep test pairing, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, because even a dilute has wing markings, and that's got no wing markings.
Yeah, he's completely clear. As soon as I saw him for sale, I was, you know, weird, unusual. You're coming home with me. Another nightmare.
Yeah, what have you paired him to so far to try?
He's been paired with all sorts, just to try and get him to like someone, or get him with a successful hen. I'm really low on Hagaromo hens at the moment. So I've just bought him.
You could put him in, if you had a couple of just normal hens. I mean, even crests, I suppose it wouldn't matter. But just put him and 2 or 3 hens in a cage,
Let him
a
pick
biggish
out.
cage, and let him pick what you want. At least then you've got some control over it,
Mm.
rather than him, because the worst thing could probably happen is he paired to another spangle or something. Although you say you haven't got many spangles, have you? So
Not in a Hagar, no.
no. But no, I mean, and it's that's it. I mean, God, a few years ago, I never thought I'd be sat here talking enthusiastically about a bird that we can't even identify.
Convert you.
Oh God, dear me. Kevin, it's all your fault. Definitely. No way. It's Kevin's fault. Right. So we thought we'd touch on a few of your other sidelines and hobbies, didn't we?
I know, I'm very busy.
Yeah, so I'll take it away because I'm not even sure what I'm looking at there.
So I keep Japanese quails or Coturnix quails as well. I did try keeping the smaller ones, which are the Chinese painted or the king quail that they're known as abroad. But the Japanese quail, which are slightly bigger, just a much better birds to keep. I keep them in the bottom of my flight with my budgies. And they're bigger, they're hardier. So if one of the budgies goes down and sits on the back like they do, I try and discourage it. But it's a good way to know if your cockbird's fertile because they go straight for a quail. And they lay eggs. They're basically, people keep them in the bottom of the aviaries to pick up any of the kicked out seed and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't give them really their own food source. I do. I actually use Garvo. And it's come up quite a lot in a lot of talks because Garvo is quite a popular product on the chicken market because of how good it is.
Yeah.
So I use Garvo 175, which I know Harry mentioned in his previous interview that he uses as well for his
is that a chick crumb rather than a layers mash? I think what I've got is a layers mash.
It's the same consistency as a mash.
Yeah.
It's not a crumb. It's literally like a powder, and it's got some shrimps in it and some bits and pieces in it.
Yeah.
And that's what you raise the babies on. It's 1075, and it's the Alpha Start chicks, I believe. 1 second, let me go and get the bag. Ooh, I had it so close to hand because I've got it in my bedroom where I actually grow out my chicks in my quails or chicken.
Oh, right.
It's the 1075 Alpha Start by Garvo.
Yeah.
And it's about it is you feed it to the babies, and by 4 weeks old, the chick grown on Garvo is twice the size as a 4-week-old chick grown on chick crumb.
Wow.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the quails get those, and I regularly incubate and hatch. And these are what you would, when you think of quails and quails' eggs, you'd think of the brown speckled ones that you'd see in the picture before. But this is me we're talking about, and I like the rare breed. See, so I acquired some Celadon Japanese quails, and the only difference really is that rather than the brown speckled eggs, they lay blue. And they do fetch a lot more money. They're worth a lot more money than the standard ones, because they only hatch true, they only breed true 80% of the time. So if I had, a Celadon cock paired with a Celadon hen, and they had, say 10 offspring, with that, 2 of those offspring wouldn't produce blue eggs, they would produce brown speckled eggs.
Oh, right.
So the gene can be a little bit funny. So I had I wanted to do a whole new batch of quails, and I ended up with all of my Celadon hatchlings laying me brown speckled eggs. I got really unlucky. But yeah, they're absolutely stunning, and they really are for visual effects. There is absolutely no different wise to the brown speckled, although my dad, who eats them regularly, says that they taste a little bit better. You can notice there's a slight taste difference, but maybe that's just because they're worth more. They have to taste nicer because they're worth more. So I don't know. I don't know.
Oh well, you learn something new every day, don't you?
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
day's a school
definitely.
day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, I personally, I do not know what you and Harry see in these things. I could be very, very rude, but I won't. They are just not for me.
Oh, she's gorgeous. What are you saying? So yeah, so this is a Showgirl chicken, and I wanted to include the video because it's a little nod to Harry, because when I saw a little snippet of Harry's video and I saw the picture and I was like, oh, someone else has got Showgirls. I must get eggs because these are another rare breed.
Yeah.
And they again, you either love them or you hate them, but I just
Yeah.
absolutely love them. And the interesting thing about Bowie here is I thought she was a cockbird, hence she's named after David Bowie. And the
Yeah.
reason she's named that is because one iris has got an amber, one eye has got an amber iris, and one eye is completely black. There is no
Oh.
iris on that eye. So she's odd,
It's
like
an odd-eyed pied.
yeah, basically. Yeah. So no, she's very striking, and she's got this beautiful plume on her head. And this picture was taken a couple of days ago after she had a bath. So I actually took a picture of her in the bath and sent it to
Funny
Ricky. And he was
enough,
like,
do you know
what?
this tonight? I just literally flicking through I don't know if it's TikTok or whatever it is, short
And I
videos
put the
on,
video.
and there was a lady bathing hers, and I was like, oh my god! And now you've done that.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
looks like she had a bad date with Edward Scissorhands, you know.
yeah. Showgirls and silkies, the way that they sort of breed is if you've got, say for instance, a silky cockbird paired with a showgirl hen, the offspring has a 50-50 chance of being a showgirl or a silky. So you never know what you're gonna get.
Right. Oh right,
Um,
so they're almost they are a silky as I would.
they are. Yeah.
Ah
So
right,
in the very early beginnings, they were silkies bred with Transylvanian naked necks, which is where you get this complete
right.
naked neck down the front. Yeah, so the pom on the head comes from the silky and the naked neck. And there are actually two different types of showgirl. There's showgirl and there's strippers.
That's
And
right. I think Harry spoke about those.
yeah, so the
Yeah,
showgirls have got this little ruffle just on the chest there,
yeah.
which you can see just halfway down the neck. There is what's called a sort of bow tie in a
Mm,
sense. But the strippers, they don't have that, and their neck
yeah,
is completely bald.
yeah, yeah. I
So she had to have a bath because she got particularly dirty. She got broody, and
ah,
broody chickens works the same way as broody budgies. They don't come out the nest box,
no,
but they've got no
no.
cockbird feeding them. So you have
Right.
to lift your broody out if they don't come out of their own accord to poop, eat, and drink, and then they go
Right.
back. So she went broody. She got dirty, and hence the bath time. You shouldn't really bathe the chickens, but she's quite well handled, and she
Oh, I mean,
tolerates.
we had normal chickens, and we used to do all sorts of things with them. They were, you know, they were not quite house pets, but they used to come in and catch all the spiders, and
Yeah,
you know,
watch TV, jump on the
yeah.
sofa. I love it. Absolutely
Oh
love it.
God,
Yeah,
dear.
yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, can you breed them together, two
Yeah, so
showgirls,
yeah, I'm not
or
too sure. I've
not two
tried to.
showgirls?
I think you can, and I think you get a majority of strippers. So
Right. Okay.
it removes the bow tie from the showgirl. And personally, I don't like that. I much
No.
prefer the little tuft in the bottom, because I have a lot of people that come in and go, oh my God, what's happened with that chicken?
Yeah.
Why does it look like that? And I'm like, they're supposed to look like that. And they're like, no, no.
No.
And
No.
they just look like feather dusters running around I mean, at the time
Yeah.
they were running around the garden, and they're just these giant fluff balls running around the garden and with these weird naked necks, and you can see their crop and it's all bulging out of one side with, I just love it. I love it.
Looks like an old
Um,
man in a pair of wife fronts.
yeah, yes. But
Shocking.
yeah,
Shocking.
yeah. So I breed. I've got a silky rooster, and he's over showgirl hens.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So I'm trying to work on a pure flock to be able to
Yeah.
sell showgirl eggs because they're so difficult to get hold of.
Yeah.
That's why I got
Yeah.
so excited when I saw Harry had them. But
Yeah.
obviously,
Obviously, he sold them on
I
now,
got so
hasn't
excited. I was like, Harry, you're my man. I need some eggs.
he?
But yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm still looking if anyone out there has any showgirls.
So the family are involved then to a certain degree?
The eldest not so much. He's only involved because he has to be. This particular photo was taken because he decided that he was going to do his Duke of Edinburgh Awards. So he's done his bronze. I think this was doing his bronze. This was quite a few years ago. And he's now on his silver, and it takes a few sort of year to do to each one.
Yeah.
So there are different areas of when you do your Duke of Edinburgh, you've got the skill, volunteering, and physical.
Yeah.
So his skill he wanted to do in Birdroom with Mum, because obviously he's a teenage boy and he's lazy and he doesn't want to do it anywhere else. And the Birdroom's in the garden. So quite often I had him in, and I was teaching him about mutations and how to, look at it in one ear and out the other, as they do with teenage boys. But yeah, he helped out and he was scrubbing and cleaning and things like that
it's surprising how quickly they pick it up. You think it goes in and out, but my daughter picked up quite a bit, and she's interested, but but lovely recessive pied on his finger. Dark green as well, is it?
Yeah, dark green. Yeah, dark green recessive cockbird, that one.
Lovely. Oh, so this must be further on.
Yeah, growing up a bit there. This was very recent. So he's doing his silver award here, and he had the bowl of cleaning fluid and scrubbing the perches, which I do every 2 days. So he was out with me and helping me out. So
yeah, that's good. That's the way it should be,
Yeah, when I can get him out there, he does my grow out a lot. And this is my derpy dog. This is Thor.
Mad as a box of frogs.
Oh, he totally is. And I've got a million really lovely pictures of this dog. But when I took this picture, I couldn't stop laughing. Which is why I wanted to share it with you, because this was his first summer. He was born New Year's Eve of last year, so he's just turned 1. This was in the summer, so he's about 6 months old here, and he's just stupid.
Yeah. What breed is he?
He's a Dachshund.
Just straight normal Dachshund, nothing rare.
He's a chocolate dapple.
Rare, rare breed.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. A lot of people want the dapples because they just look a lot more different to the original Dachshund that you'd have a tan and beige.
Yeah.
So he's a chocolate and a dapple. So yeah, a little bit rare. Yeah, I know. I'm terrible.
Shocking. Oh, there's a cheeky bum.
Yeah, it's my youngest. He loves the birds. He gets involved. He comes out with me and he wants to hold the birds. He wants to clean. Honestly, if I could have 10 kids like this child, I would, I'd have another baby tomorrow. He's absolutely fantastic. He's brilliant with them. And we started him very, very young with being around the animals, because it was so important for us. Having cats as well, and chicks in the brooder, and eggs in the incubator, and a bird room full of birds, and birds inside the house because they need this, that, or the other. It was so important that he grew up around the animals, and he's so gentle with them.
Yeah.
So every time he comes into the bird room and he vacuums, and he gets some money to get some sweets, and it's so important for the next generation of people to be involved. And if they get the love early, you hear it so often from people that are breeders, keepers, big showmen, or showing big in the exhibition. They started off very, very young.
That's the thing. If you start them young, as long as you're teaching them good habits, they'll have good habits.
Absolutely. And it teaches compassion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's a fluff ball.
Yeah, this is Moam. A lot of people that sort of follow me online know about Moam. He's 9 now.
Wow.
And he's outlived all of his siblings. He's outlived his daughter. He's still going. And he lives in the house now. And he's got a droopy, as old men do. His wings are a little droopy. He's going through a tough molt. And he was a savage in his younger years. He was the youngest baby in a clutch that was abandoned by the mom. He had seizures, he had fits. 24 hours. I had him on a hot water bottle, crying my eyes out because I think it was the second clutch I'd ever had, and it all just went wrong, all went wrong. But I'd done my research prior to breeding, so I had everything available. I had the guardian angel, I had the syringes, I had the formula, I had everything that I needed. And this is what's so, so important. If you're breeding birds, you need to be equipped. You can't just say, oh, well, I'll leave the birds to it, because if you get a hen and you can't foster the babies, you've got to step in. Those babies are your responsibility, and you have to take over and you have to feed them.
Yeah, that's the thing. We put them in a controlled environment for our choice, for our reasons, for our love of birds. But if you can't take that extra step when things go wrong, and we know, that it goes wrong, and especially I find, 1 or 2 pairs breeding is not ideal.
I'm at 20 pairs and I still have problems.
Same here. Yeah, I've only been paired up a few weeks and started getting some eggs, and I've got a hen that's just gone a bit funny. So I've had to move her eggs to another one, and she's in just resting now. But
to shuffle about. But he would die. He was the smallest. He was squashed. He was in a really, really bad way, and just through sheer determination, drip feeding him formula and a little bit of guardian angel, he pulled through, and he's now 9. So he's got a bit droopy. His wings are sort of sagging a little bit. He can't fly as much, and he's so much more appreciative of being indoors than in an aviary environment, a flight environment. He just wants to snuggle. He hasn't got to prove to anyone that he's the big I am, because he was the alpha at one point, and he had to be big and he had to be bad, and he couldn't be with his mum because that's not cool with all the other birds in the flight, so he would go for your eyes. He was awful, really awful. I'd warn people, don't go near him because he will bite you. But now he's inside and he hasn't got a shaft to anyone, so he's just loving his mummy cuddles for now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we've got through all the photographs, and I think going forward for talks, I think we definitely need to do maybe some shorter videos, because to be honest, this is I didn't know how long we'd be talking for, but here we are. It's probably going to be a 2-parter now.
Yeah,
it's your fault.
Yeah.
But I think we probably
waffle on.
Me too. But I think we've got some legs with this one, because I think we could do some shorter videos on individual mutations, really, and how you're successfully breeding them and how to go about breeding them as well, because Kevin's got all of his stuff there. People want to breed, they can start with Kevin's pages, and then perhaps we'll do some on the rare mutations.
And what's so exciting about building the UKBC and building the community is that you've got the help there, and you've got the people there that are breeding the birds that can help you move forward.
I reckon if any member put a post on our pages with just help, they would be inundated with help.
And that's what I love. I love it.
Because we're all on the same page. So, but the last thing I wanted to just basically touch on, and I'm finding it quite difficult to explain this show. So it might be something you when we finished, you think about, and maybe something we sort of come up with. But I want people to try and understand that this show is not going to have any stigma to it. This isn't going to be you've got to do it this way, and your bird has got to look like this and has got to be this. I really just want people to put a budgie in a show cage, and they don't have to own a show cage at the time, because what we're looking at doing is having a bit of a pool of cages. The ones that I'm collecting and doing some refurbishments on, I may well offer for sale on the day, so you could bring your bird, put it in a show cage, and you actually go home with a cage. But
sounds wonderful.
But and I think that's what I want to make people. And it doesn't matter if you don't know what. It'll help if you know what sex it is. But the first show it doesn't matter whether you know the mutation or not. It doesn't matter, because what I think we're probably going to do is do what we call any age hens and any age cocks, which is anything over 12 months. And then we'll have young bird hen and young bird cockbirds.
Yeah.
And then I think going forward, as people understand mutations and want to learn, I think we'll be able to maybe split them into
classes.
Just sort of small, not small classes, because that's the problem. You can have too many classes.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But we might have crests and Hagaromas, you might have pieds all together, and and the show is all going to be about color, shape, that sort of wow, and that could be any type of bird. I mean, I'll tell you now. I mean, I shall judge the first one because until we get this under our belt, we haven't got a standard to judge to, and I'm not worried about that because I want people to put birds in the show, and learn from it. So and to the fact that we can't even agree on a name yet, so anybody watching this, give us some heads up on, I'm thinking hobby breeders, but does that say actually what it is? And some of the committee members want to do budgie keepers show. So, we do need some help and some ideas. So
yeah, we do.
But no, it's been a blast. We've had a good giggle.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's hope everybody else has a giggle with us, because or perhaps I need a naked neck and a
give me a little bow tie.
No, I'll be one of your showgirls.
Get you a nice little head.
Yeah, a little pom pom.
Get you a wig on. And you know what it is, and it's not about what birds you own, whether you're the exhibition or the pet. The budgie guys of colour, it is about your passion.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
what we want to say.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and we just want to bring everybody together, and enjoy it. Nothing's easy these days. The price of seed and all that. So, the fact that we can get discount on haste and stuff is just phenomenal, really.
Yeah, which reminds me, I've got to put my order in tonight.
Aha. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right. Brilliant.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you so much.
And
I'll get this out in the next couple of weeks.
Perfect.
Super.
Have a good night. See you later, everyone. Thank you.